The purpose of this video is to help you better understand the submission type category on your Naviance account. We'll begin by going to the colleges I'm applying to and look at this section under submission type. Coalition application in Naviance is supposed to be listed with a CO. In my conversations with Naviance this year, they can't explain why this isn't populating, but for Lake Ridge students, whenever you have a coalition application, it will not populate with CO, it will simply be blank. For common application schools, it is listed as CA. For common application schools that you're not using the common application for, but that accept electronic submission, it will put a line through the CA. So in some instances, if you have a coalition application, you could have a CA with a line through it if that application is going direct to the institution. So again, if I have a school that is both coalition and common application, and I choose coalition, then you will see this designation in Naviance. The common application that needs to be printed, as far as I know, very few schools utilize this. If you see it, please talk to your counselor. Electronic submission simply means that the school has their own electronic application that you're going to submit directly to the school. Again, this could also be a coalition application that is purely coalition. In other words, they only have the coalition application option. It is electronic, goes directly to the school. You could have a blank screen. Unknown rarely occurs. If this happens, then you need to see your counselor right away. Print only, the school does not accept electronic documents. Again, rarely occurs, and we don't expect to see it. So with that, we'll start with UC Davis, which has that odd designation of it does not accept printed documents, or it does not accept electronic documents, rather. This is actually not true, and this is the odd thing about Naviance, is sometimes their designations don't fit with the reality of what the institution is asking for. So for UC Davis, they have their own application. It is a self-reporting application. You're not able to change this designation. Your counselor knows that this is an electronic submission. So this is a self-reporting application that you submit online on your own through the UC website. If you have UC applications on your list, you may apply to as many UC schools as you'd like to with the one electronic application. If you have any questions about the UC applications, please see your counselor. We're going to scroll to the bottom of my page where I have the University of Washington, because the University of Washington is a coalition application exclusive school. They only offer the coalition application, and it will be submitted electronically. The coalition application does support letters of recommendation from Lake Ridge High School. However, the University of Washington is like the University of California system schools in that it is a self-reporting school. In other words, the University of Washington does not require letters of recommendation, nor does it require an official transcript unless you are going to be a student athlete or you're an international student. The coalition application here is designated with an empty box. If we go to the edit section, you'll notice that there is only a direct to institution mark under I'll submit my application. This means that the University of Washington accepts electronic applications, but only through the coalition application. And once again, we would like to see CO in here for coalition application, but Naviance tells us they do not support it this year. Let's move up to Washington University in St. Louis. Washington U is a school that accepts both the coalition application and the common application. So it has a direct to institution and via the common application. For our purposes, we're going to click direct to institution and update it. Scroll down and you will see that WashU has CA with a line through it. Now your counselor knows that you are using the coalition application at WashU. I don't want to use the coalition, so I'm going to go back and mark my common application because I want to use the common application in my process for Washington University. So the question always comes up, which one does WashU prefer? Don't they care about the application that I send in? Well, yes, they care about the application you submit, but they don't care what type of application you submit. Washington University wants your application. How do I know this? If I go to the Washington University webpage, they tell me specifically, students should submit one or the other, not both. Once students have started with one application, they should complete that application and not switch between the two. Both applications will be available beginning August 1st, but I can't stress enough the first sentence that I skipped. Washington University does accept the coalition application or the common application, and we have no preference for either one. I have yet to run across a college that cares about which application you use. They are only interested in getting your application. Let's move back down to the bottom of my list for our last example, which is Portland State University. Portland State University is only going to have direct to the institution. They have an online application that is only available through their website. They are not common application, they are not coalition, they are electronic, they do require transcripts, they do not require letters of recommendation. So as I read through all of my application material, and let me stress, before you begin this process, you want to understand what each school requires of you, and you want to designate which type of application you're going to use in the process. This not only helps you understand what you have to do, it helps your counselor understand what your counselor is responsible for in this process. For example, the University of Washington, Lake Ridge High School, and your counselor will do nothing for you because that is a self-reporting application. Washington University in St. Louis requires counselor's letters of recommendation, teacher letters, and an official transcript. Portland State requires that you send them an official transcript. So you must order that on the Naviance website. So yeah, as you can see, that application type, that submission type is very important to your application process.